We walk in and y'all, it looked like Elvis Presley threw up in there. They had checkered tablecloths, like red and white checkered tablecloths. I'm like, what the fuck? Let me say also, when he first got out the car, we getting ready to walk into the restaurant. He don't have on his police uniform, so I could see everything. He looked every bit of 50. So that was already like strike 2. That was strike 2. Hi, what can I get for you today? Do I need some time to look at the menu? He's like, no, I don't want to get. She said, what you gonna get? He gonna say, I'm gonna have the meatloaf and carrots. That old ass dish. Like, why is you eating? When he smiled, I seen that he had teeth. I don't know if he had them in the back, but I see that he had teeth. Like, he was chewing like this the whole time.
Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host, Fahim, and today we got some more TikTok content. Story time on the time I went on a date with a 50-year-old. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get into it.
Story time on the time I went out on a date with a 50-plus-year-old. Bro, I used to be in Tallahassee just doing stuff. What a time. So at this time, me and my boyfriend at the time, which is my boyfriend now, we was going through it. We was beefing. We was not talking. And one thing about me, it never gave sit in the house and cry about a nigga. Sorry, boo. Not doing it. You outside, bitch. I'm outsider. Thank you. This one I was working as a server at Longhorn. All the hoes used to be in Longhorn. I'm talking about... Never mind. Anyway, it was always somebody in there, like, trying to take me on a date, trying to take me out. So it was nothing for me to go to work and get another nigga. No shade, boo. No disrespect. I'm just... So this day, I go into work beefing. We was both single, by the way. Let me clear that up, because it's not like we was beefing and... we were single, okay? So I go to work, flipping my tables, and these 2 police officers come in. One is like fair-skinned, and the other is dark-skinned. They're both super tall, but I love dark-skinned men. That's my thing. The area where they were sitting is like dimmed. It's like a dimmed table where they're sitting, and then he also has on his police hat, and all I can see is really his skin tone, and I can see in the face that he's like somewhat handsome, but I can't really see his face features too much. Also, the angle where I was serving their table was from their side profile, because I can't explain it, but yeah, I'm like taking their order from their side profile because the way their booth was set up, right? The whole time I'm waiting on this table, I'm like, okay, this officer is kind of handsome. Like, I never dated a police officer before or, like, talked to one or nothing like that because I always felt like it was crazy. But I was willing to make an accommodation for this because he looked handsome. Right when they were about to get up, our prep guy had came from the back and went to his table and was talking to him. I said, oh, boom, I'm in there. Easy peasy. So my table leave. They was really sweet, by the way. They took me really good. They left, and I went to the back. I told the prep guy, I'm like, who that was? And he was like, oh, that's my homeboy, da da da. I'm like, oh, he's kind of handsome. He was like, I'm gonna pass the message along. Thank you. That easy. So when y'all be sitting in the house crying about niggas, I will never get it. Like, it's literally that easy. He texted the guy and was like, oh, somebody is asking for your info. And the guy texted back and was like, it depends on who it is. And our prep guy was like, it was your server. And he was like, oh, absolutely. Give her my information. Thank you. He gave me his number. I texted him, was like, oh, this is Chanel, blah, blah. And we get to texting. The way that he texts is not illiterate, but you would think he was, like, young, like, around my age. In the face, I would assume that he was about, from what I could see, I would say like late 30s, mid 40s. I knew he was older than me. I was only about 25 at this time. So we're texting, we're like asking each other questions, like, the basics when you first start texting somebody. And he I asked him, because I knew he was older. I asked him, I'm like, how old are you? And he was like 53. I said, oh, this grandpa and them. This way past unk. He asked me how old I am. I'm like 25. He's like, oh, I knew you were younger. Is this going to be an issue? Like, I'm like twice your age. Yeah, I was extremely like, ew, no, at first. But I was like, you know what? Like, you grown. What you scared of? Once he told me his age, I already knew this was not going far at all. Maybe a couple dates, go out to get some food. maybe a movie. That's it. That's all. I ain't got nothing else for you. So I respond. I'm basically like, no, it's cool. Well, whatevs. But I'm texting Rodrigo like, bitch, this man 50. But he didn't talk like an older man, like a man that old. He did not text like a, he was real chill. He was real cool. He cracked jokes. Like, it was cool. After like 2 days, he was like, oh, he want to go out to eat. Like, let's meet up somewhere, go eat. I'm like, okay, cool. I get dressed or whatever. I didn't even do my makeup because it's like, who doing their makeup to go out with their granddad, So I get like, put on modest clothing. And he said he want to go to Ted Montana Grill, something like that. Never been there before, but I had driven past it a few times. Nothing ever in me said, oh, let's try there. It just didn't give to me, but he said that's where he want to go. So I was like, okay, cool, we can meet there. I get there before him, and I already got to wait for him for like 20 minutes. That already threw me off, but I'm like, he probably had to take his medicine and stuff. So I'm like, I'm giving him grace or whatever. He a little older. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give him some time. Boom. So then he texts me. He's like, oh, he's like 10 minutes out. I'm like, okay, cool. He says he's here. I said, I'm here. How were you here when I'm here? And he's like, oh, I don't see you. I'm like, I don't see you. Which one are you at? I said, I'm at the one in Tallahassee. He's like, oh, I'm at the one in Georgia. This Georgia state line was like 30 minutes from Tallahassee. Like, I'm like, why would you go to that one? And he was like, well, I thought that I'm already aggravated. Okay. So, okay, cool. He finally makes it there, right? Like I said, I waited for him to walk in. We walk in, and y'all, it looked like Elvis Presley threw up in there. They had checkered tablecloths, like red and white checkered tablecloths. I'm like, what the fuck? It was just like, the vibe just gave, they gave like had I said I want to try this place out and I walked in there, I probably would have walked right out. Like, everything about it just gave, but that was not, like, now I'm aggravated, because, like, okay, we sit down, we get to looking at the menus or whatever, and I don't see nothing that's appealing. I have ate before I had got there, but I was just gonna give me something else to take it home, but nothing on the menu gave, like, it was just, everything was like, it was just so I'm like, what are you gonna get? He was like, oh, I don't even need to look at the menu, I come here every time, I always get the same thing. So I'm like, okay. So he asked me, what am I gonna get? I said, I'm just gonna have a glass of wine. Like, I'm cool. So we sit at the table, we chilling, blah, 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 we talking. And let me say also, when he first got out the car, we getting ready to walk into the restaurant, he don't have on his police uniform. So I could see everything. He looked every bit of 50. So that was already like strike 2. That was strike 2. The tardiness was strike 1. How he looked without that uniform was strike 2.
She said he looked every bit of 50. Bro, she is killing me.
And then when I walked in, I seen it. Okay, now we strike 3. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I know, okay, you're not going to see me again. At this point, I'm just here. He was not as handsome as I thought he was, like, with that uniform on. I said, oh my God, what have I done? But it's too late, I'm already here, But his vibe is still cool, like, whatever. So we chit-chatting for a little bit, but I'm kind of, like, uncomfortable a little bit because it's like, oh my God, like, you really like 53. You look 53. You're like, I hope the old men don't come in my comments and try to, like, it was just my experience. So this is what aggravated me the most. What he ordered aggravated me so bad. Like, the way to come to the table and say, hi, what can I get for you today? Do I need some time to look at the menu? He's like, no, I don't want to get. She said, what you gonna get? He gonna say, I'm gonna have the meatloaf and carrots. That old ass dish. Like, why are you eating meatloaf and carrots at 6 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, that's just okay, whatever. Now I'm ready to go because carrots stink, and it's not even the carrots with no seasoning or nothing. It was some thick sliced carrots, no seasoning, just bland, just steamed. Like, they put it in the microwave and bring it out to you. Now he's sitting in my face eating this old ass stank ass meal, and then this was it for me. When he smiled, I seen that he had teeth. I don't know if he had them in the back, but I see that he had teeth. Like, He was chewing like this the whole time. Check, please. I want to go home. I'm never doing this again. Shout out to the girls who they me and y'all got that bitch. No, thank you.
So, what do you guys think about the story time? I think this is a hilarious story time. Girls say he was chewing like this. Bro, what do you expect when that man said he was 50 some years old? And honestly, we're not about to categorize all 50-year-olds like they all act like this, dress like this, talk like this. They don't. And chew like that. They don't. But you just got with a 50-some-year-old that did. And I think that that is a funny experience that she will be able to tell her kids one day. That is very funny. And ain't nothing wrong with no meatloaf and carrots. There's nothing wrong with some meat. Now, is it a meal that I would pick? No. But meatloaf and carrots don't stink. Don't do my carrots like that because I like carrots. But what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me that the 50-year-old, he was pretty alright. He was pretty alright. Or do you guys disagree in that she should have never went out with him as soon as he said that he was 50 some years old in them text messages? But thank you for tuning into this Clocked Out conversation. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.